My name is Danielle Kohler, and I am Chairwoman of the Board of Directors of the Vollrath Company. Vollrath Company is based in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. We are currently a 150-year-old, sixth generation, my generation company, and we employ about 1,300 people worldwide. Since I am the sixth generation of family ownership, my grandfather had passed it on to us in a GST trust, which of course is no longer valid. So when my sisters and I took the company over, we had to obviously go through consultants and come up with a plan to keep longevity and the success of the company in mind. So we are currently going through a generational transition. Primarily, it's a financial and ownership transition since we are a professionally run company. Well, a primary concern, obviously, succession-wise, there are tax laws that are adverse to the transfer of ownership to next-generation family owners. We currently are going through a very complicated process of doing that transition, working within the law, but if they would lift some of those restrictions, such as the death tax or what's known as the inheritance tax for businesses that are transferred from family to family generation, that would go a long ways towards helping us. As a manufacturer, obviously we are always thinking of, we're in the metals business, we utilize metal, and we do have some importations that we do from China, bringing in some products, and sometimes it's just parts that are actually put into final products that are manufactured in the U.S. So tariffs and those sort of tax issues also affect us as a manufacturer.
My name is Steve Wells, and I'm co-founder of American Food and Vending, food service company headquartered in Syracuse, New York. We provide on-site food services across the country, to both to businesses and to higher education, colleges, community colleges, and in all different kinds of venues. So right now it's really first generation. It's myself and my brother and my cousin, but we very soon have 7 next generation potential kids that may or may not work in the business. The oldest has expressed interest, thankfully, thank God, and he's just finishing up graduate school. Yeah, so we've been planning for succession to some level for a long time. I was forced to transfer ownership because of the estate tax much earlier than I would have liked to have. Would like to have waited until retirement, but because the company was growing very fast, I realized early on that I had to transfer ownership. So I started back in 2012 after the estate tax law was made permanent again, and so I essentially have transferred ownership to at that time 6 and 7-year-old kids. Well, for one thing, they can help other families so they don't get in the situation I was, where I had to turn over a business to 6 and 7-year-old kids. It made no sense to do it then. Even in retrospect, I only did it because of the tax law, and I wanted to preserve the family business, not just for ourselves, but we have over 2,000 employees. And so those families are relying on our business to keep going. And I didn't know if my kids are going to turn out to be competent, to run a business. I mean, who knows when they're that young? Families should not be forced into that kind of decision making and to take actions that really don't allow their business to be transferred to the next generation. So there's many reasons why we want to, in America, keep perpetuating family businesses, and this is why it's important that Congress get out of the way if they can't help. We'd rather you help us with policy that promotes family businesses, but at the least, just get out of the way and let us. Transferring a family business is difficult enough on its own. So please just try to help us, and if you can't, just get out of the way and let us do our thing.
Yeah, my name's Mark Goodhart. I'm president and chairman of the board of Goodhart Sons Incorporated. Next year will be 90 years in business. My great-grandfather founded us in 1935. We have 130 dedicated employees and 4 current fourth-generation owners. We've come through a succession plan with my father. He started the process very early, which honestly I think enabled our success. But we have just started talking about the next generation and what that's going to entail, so we're just starting those discussions. A very, very big legislative challenge for us is there's an HR 7024 bill that hopefully gets through the Senate. What has happened is that they have changed the way that we can take our R&D expenses, and we essentially have to amortize those over 5 years, and it creates a huge, huge lift in terms of cash flow for the company and taxable income and tax payments. So hopefully that works its way through the Senate, and that will be a weight off our shoulder.